to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. My name is Joey and I'm obsessed with video games, and this is my review for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So everyone, if you wouldn't mind, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, all that good stuff. So, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth released on the 28th of February, and I have literally not even within the last 5 minutes finished the game. And I should say this review is not scripted. This is just me letting all my feelings out, letting the words come out of my mouth and hoping it all makes sense. And now if you would like a more scripted approach to this game, then please put a comment down below and I'll take it under consideration, and maybe we can do that. Oh, and another thing, this review will contain, hopefully, no spoilers. I'm going to try my best. Like I said, it's not scripted, so I might mess up somewhere, but I'm going to try not to, because I think it's very important to go into this game with as little knowledge of the changes to the original game as possible. So hopefully you've stayed away from spoilers, you've stayed away from watching people play through the game if you haven't already yourself. I myself watched 2 of the trailers that were released, one of which I was kind of forced to watch because it played at the end of the demo. Apart from that, I pretty much stayed away from absolutely everything. If you want to know my history with the Final Fantasy series, the walkthrough I've done for Rebirth has an entire introduction that goes over it, talks about my favourite Final Fantasy games, talks about how I got into Final Fantasy, talks about all sorts of stuff. So if you want to hear all that, then you can go and watch that. This is exclusively me talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, my most anticipated game of the year, and having just finished it, wow. That I could just put that up as the review. Just say, wow. This is by far one of the best video game experiences I have had in the last 15 years, 20 years. Easily. This is on the level of, if not better than, Final Fantasy VII Remake. And just to give you some context, Final Fantasy VII Remake was my favourite Final Fantasy game of all time. So, to blow my load, so to speak, pardon the expression, if you enjoyed Final Fantasy VII Remake, you enjoy Final Fantasy VII, you are going to absolutely love Rebirth. Now, it's going to be very hard to talk about this without going into spoilers, so I'm going to be as vague as possible. So, story picks up where Final Fantasy VII Remake left off, with our gang of, you know, Cloud, Aerith, Tifa, Barret, Red 13, all deciding to go off, hunt down Sephiroth, who's the big bad, and put a stop to what he's up to. That's it. That's all you need to know about the story. In Rebirth, obviously, a lot of stuff happens. A lot of stuff happens that did not happen in the original section in Final Fantasy VII. I should say, for context, Remake and Rebirth make up only 1 disc of the original Final Fantasy VII. The original Final Fantasy VII was on 3 discs. Technically, only 2 of them, I would say, count, because the 3rd disc was essentially just the final dungeon and the final boss. That's what the 3rd disc was. So for all intents and purposes, you could say this is a 2-disc game, and obviously the 2nd disc is shorter than the 1st disc, so that makes sense why this remake is a trilogy. Doesn't need to be 4 games, it's a trilogy. And all in all, this game, although people have been saying it took them 50 hours to play through the story, it's not 50 hours. It took me about 35 hours all in to get through, and that was just literally doing story. That wasn't doing any of the side stuff, of which there is an absolute crap ton of side content in this game. crap ton. And a lot of that comes out of the fact that this, unlike Remake, is more of an open world game. Which shouldn't surprise anyone who's played the original Final Fantasy VII. When the main characters leave Midgar, which is the big city you're in Remake, that's when you end up in the open world anyway. So basically the best way I can describe Rebirth is, take everything you love about the original Final Fantasy VII and times it by 1,000,000 easily, which sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. Times it by 1,000,000. So if you thought the graphics for the original Final Fantasy VII were great, times it by 1,000,000. They're 1,000,000 times better in this. If you like the writing in the original Final Fantasy VII, times that by 1,000,000. The writing in Rebirth is absolutely fantastic. Rebirth obviously fully voiced, which the original Final Fantasy VII is not. But also, I could say, again, without getting into details, if you think you know everything that happens in Disc 1 of the original Final Fantasy VII, or should I say the rest of Disc 1, which is what Rebirth covers, think again, because there is so much. There was literally every half an hour something would happen and I would gasp, literally gasp and say, oh my god, what's happening? What's going on? Where are they going now? Where are they going to go with this? What's going to happen with that? Are they going to explain this? Are they going to explain that? Oh my god, who is that? Literally every half an hour to an hour, that would happen through it. And I play, like I said, this took me about 35 hours to get through. If you don't believe me, go and watch my full playthrough of the game. It's all there. You'll get to hear me laughing. You get to hear me crying a lot. I cried a lot at this, and not maybe for the obvious reasons you might think if you've played, you know, the original Final Fantasy VII, but there are just so many, you know, like I say, take everything in the original Final Fantasy VII and times it by 1,000,000. There are so many sequences in the original Final Fantasy VII that are like throwaway sequences that in Rebirth actually become some of the best parts of the whole game. And one I can talk about because it's in the original game and it's in Rebirth is, just to use it as a very simple example, is the boss fight with Palmer, which in the original is treated as a bit of a joke. You know, you're just fighting him, he's got some stupid gun and you're fighting him. Whereas in Rebirth, they've taken that and it's a much different boss fight. Not only that, but you actually fight him twice. And the second time is equally as thrilling as the first, if not more so. And that's all I'm going to say on that, because like I said, don't want to spoil anything for you, but I thought, well, who really cares about Palmer? So, I mean, I do. I mean, Palmer was great in this. Everyone was great in this. Yeah, it's very hard to talk about without giving anything away. Give me the third part right now. Right now. Oh, the music. I haven't spoken about the music. I could talk about the music. The music is absolutely fantastic. Taking the original themes, remixing them, doing new orchestrations, new versions, a lot of original stuff, some songs, I will say. A couple of songs in here, which I thought were amazing. One of which was played at the Game Awards this year, so if you caught that, then you'll know one of the songs you're going to hear in the game. Yeah, I mean, there's not a hell of a lot I can actually say about the game. If anyone has any questions, you can put it down below and I'll be happy to answer. Like I said, I wanted to keep the review non-spoiler, but if you want spoilers down below, you can ask away and I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Like I said, there's also a full playthrough of the game going to be on the channel if it's not already there, and you can check that out. Absolutely fantastic. If this is not my game of the year, I will be shocked. Nothing that I'm anticipating for the rest of the year, I think, is going to compare to this game. So, that might be the fanboy in me speaking, but I don't think so. I don't think so. This was amazing, and if the third part is as good as this and remake or either or, then this will be the greatest video game trilogy of all time. Yes, even better than Mass Effect. I don't like Mass Effect, so sorry if you're a Mass Effect fan. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. My unscripted thoughts. Finished the game not even 5 minutes ago, like I said. Well, longer than 5 minutes ago now. I've been recording this review for the last 15 minutes, so last 20 minutes. Finished it 20 minutes ago. Please give us part 3 quicker than it took you to give us Rebirth. That's all I'm begging, Square Enix, please. Please, please, please. And yeah, there you go. You want a score? 10, obviously. Masterpiece. Absolutely. This game was... I can barely talk about it without gushing or going into specifics. Yeah. Shocking, surprising, hilariously funny, very emotional, at times very sad, at times very happy, lots of action, lots of set pieces, just top notch. Absolutely amazing. So there you have it, my review for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well, you can give me a thumbs down if you want. If you want to be one of those people. And stay obsessed with gaming. Catch you next time, chaps and chapette.
Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants, and no one wants to be a booby pants.